Ernest B. Haight's story is one of a man who was college trained as an engineer and who turned to quilt making as a hobby. His wife Isabel said, "Quilt making is an unusual hobby for any man." I would add, however, that quilt making is a perfect hobby for an engineer. Like most of us in our lives, Ernest's family influenced him significantly. He came from a homesteading family. His grandparents, Louis Haight and Elizabeth Haight, homesteaded in Butler County, Nebraska, near what became David City in 1871. They were successful at homesteading, and Ernest saw this. That was what was modeled for him. I think it gave Ernest this idea that with hard work and putting his mind to it, he could accomplish about anything he wanted to do. Ernest discovered his mechanical abilities in the machine shop on the family's farm.
As a boy and young man, I spent all possible time out in the shop with taps and dies, draw knife, hacksaws, files, planes, even the blacksmith forge. I used to make all sorts of things, or at least try to. As a late teenager, I built a 2-cylinder steam engine.
So Ernest learned the properties of tools and materials, and he was able to combine those to make anything he wanted. On a homestead, a family has to all work together to be successful. And by the time that Ernest's generation came around, that didn't change. But they started to use their time to serve together in the community. During World War I, they volunteered with the Red Cross in David City, and also they had a fife and drum corps that was all members of the family, and they marched in patriotic parades and supported the war effort.
July 4, 1917. Wednesday. Went to town today to celebrate the 4th. Took our fifes and drums along and played in the parade. The Fife and Drum Corps of Lincoln almost adopted us, and we played with them.
The fact that Ernest went to college and studied engineering is really a logical extension of all that work he did in the shop as a kid. When he got to the university, he took courses in advanced geometry, mathematics, design drawing, physics, and some courses in the humanities. He also was involved in the Student Army Training Corps because this was during World War I, and so he lived in a barracks and drilled and was very involved there. He graduated in 1923 with a degree in Arts and Sciences with Phi Beta Kappa honors, and then in 1924 with his degree in Agricultural Engineering. After he graduated from college, he went back to work on the family homestead. Puzzles were a theme throughout Ernest's life. When he came back to the farm after college, he went back to the shop and enjoyed playing with his machines. One of the things he did was to make wooden puzzles and toys for his and his wife Isabel's children. This is an example of one of the toys that Ernest made on the treadle-powered bandsaw in his shop at the farm.
I made several block wood puzzles where the pieces of the puzzle cross each other from 3 directions, completely interlocking with no empty space. Finally, I combined 27 separate block wood puzzles into one bigger puzzle, in which to assemble the center puzzle I had to use tweezers to slide in some of the pieces through the openings between the puzzles on the outside. Needless to say, I have never had the urge to disassemble this puzzle.